In this video, I'm going to show a common workflow of fitting pipe to your scan data and then bringing that information into your own piping program, such as the one I have here, where you can create your as-built pipe models using the Kohera3D piping cylinder fits and center lines. This will give you an opportunity to look over my shoulder, so to speak, as I go through the various tools available in Kohera3D piping. So let's begin with this ballast water treatment project, and I'm going to drag and drop these scans into the scene window. Okay, once these are all loaded, there's a lot of data here. This looks like it can be somewhat complex to begin working with. So one of the items we have is the volume tools. So let's take the volume tools palette and let's pin that over to the right hand corner. So one thing we can do is select a point, create a box here. We'll select the second point and then apply a volume. Okay, we can adjust the size of the volume here. And this here will limit our workspace and make it easier for us to work within a particular area. Let's disable that. Another thing that can be done is to create that volume and then export the data that's inside that volume. So here I have a scans folder called scans volume. So let's load that. And I'm going to move over to Scene Explorer. So we have the scans folder and the scans volume. So let's hide the scans folder, and here's a volume, and this is of the same data. Just what I happened to do was create a volume, something like that, went in and adjust its size, and then I used the selection tool here, selected that data, and then went to a batch point cloud export, exported it as an E57 file, and then reloaded that into the project here. And that's how I received my volume. So let's hide the scans here. So you can actually take your volume, let's recreate it here. And you can make this area smaller. So you can start by maybe selecting the data in the volume here and exporting that, and then create yourself a second volume, and then create yourself a third one to make it a little bit easier to work with the data, especially if you have large amounts of it. Another thing you could do is grab your pipe here, for example. I'm going to switch to an orthographic view. Say this is the main pipe in your scope of work, for example. Grab the ellipse tool here, and you can select that. And then you can just export this pipe all by itself, and then reload that into Kohera and bring that into other programs that support point clouds. And you can do that with everything in here, really. So, but to just simplify this, we're going to use a volume. All right. I have a pipe models here, so let's drag and drop that into the scene window. So I've already started this, and I'm going to create some additional sections of pipe And then we will import that into our piping program. This is Autodesk's Plant3D. These are the center lines and the point cloud data. And if we zoom out, we can see that this volume matches the volume in Kohera. So I'll show you how to do that as well so that you don't have tons of scan data in your piping program when you're trying to work with it. Now, sometimes in certain areas where it's really congested, and this is somewhat congested, let's boost up the subsample here so we can see more data. Here we have all these different colors. The pipe is one color and each scan is a different color. We can go here and use a uniform scan color. That makes it easier to separate the pipe models from the scan data. I like to decrease the size of the points. That helps me see a little bit more. And something else that we can do is under the tools, this right here gives us a transparency palette, and we can apply that to the models. And we can also apply that to the point cloud. And that can help us to sort of see through stuff so we can see what's at the bottom or underneath a particular pipe and kind of get a better idea of what we're looking at. So those are some additional tools you can look at using if that helps you to work inside the scan data.